Good evening, greetings, and welcome. Live from Johnson Field on the campus of Eckerd College. We are going to honor our great nation with the playing of the national anthem. Be back with lineups in just a moment. The national anthem concludes here in St. Petersburg. This is a live presentation of the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. I'm Nate March, and tonight the Eckerd College Tritons play their final home game of the regular season against the University of Tampa Spartans. Coming into the match, the Spartans are trying to secure their spot in the Sunshine State Conference playoffs. They come in 6-3-4 overall, 2-3-3 in conference play. They've been playing very well recently. Played national number one Lynn to a draw, 0-0. Eckerd, it's been a rough season in the second campaign under Joe Eilert, 2-7-5, 0-5-3. Tritons have played a lot of tight one-goal games. Had some games that looked like they would win, turn into draws, or draw, turn into losses. Trying to pick up a victory here against their rivals from across the bay. The Spartans are coached by Adrian Bush. Again, he has positioned Tampa well to make it into the conference playoffs. We'll also be keeping an eye throughout the night across the bay in Tampa, where the Eckerd College women are facing the Spartans. The Tritons are trying to secure a home match in the quarterfinals of the conference tournament. Alex Hare gets the start in the goal for Tampa, the 6'4" junior from Derby, England. Played D1 soccer at Coastal Carolina previously. For the Tritons, it's the freshman, Duran Van Werkum. And the True Frosh has had an impressive start to his Tritons career, but is still looking for his first Sunshine State Conference victory in the cage. For the Tritons, the starters in the field, Thorarensen, Fisher, Clark, that's Monty and Stafford. Pharrell Williams, Marcio Costa, Gavin Spuler, Daniel Friere, Marcus Kennedy, and Noah Furman. Spartans are led on the season by Luca Bergman in goals. A grad transfer, or actually I should just say graduate student, not a transfer. He has been with Tampa the whole way. This is not sorting properly, as I think I just misinformed who was leading as we get underway here. Trying to get Tampa's stat site to properly display as we're underway with the Tritons and their home whites going right to left. That's from the south end of the pitch to the north end. So for the Spartans, it's Pablo Marquez and Rodrigo Lopez, who are tied with 5 goals apiece. For the Tritons, meanwhile, as Van Werkum gets an early touch on a long bouncing ball. The leader is Marcio Costa with 5 goals, trailed only narrowly by Friere with 4. And so turning our attention to the action on a very pleasant, comfortable night here at Johnson Field. Not an ounce of breeze. The flag over in the northeast corner not moving at all. And we'll have a throw in out on the far side for the Tritons early in the second minute. Nico Fisher puts it in play for Eckerd. And it's back out over the touchline, and this time for a Tampa throw-in. Bergman, who I mentioned previously and errantly as a scorer, actually is one of the anchors of this starting defense for the Spartans. And as I mentioned, they have been a strong defensive unit, especially here in the back half of the season. Van Werkum's kick goes out right around midfield. Spartans toss it in. A long volley headed out of the air by Thrarenson. Collision in midfield. That physical play is ruled legal by the officials, and it springs some open space for the Spartans. Polidori, and then a one-touch. And no offsides is the ruling on Garou's ball there. Comes back to Garou. Working it up the touchline. He hammers it off the leg of Friere for a Tampa throw-in. Outside of the foot, pop into the air, down toward the Tritons 18. This time, the collision is whistled, and it's a foul against the Spartans. And so the Tritons will have a chance to clear with a free kick. 3 minutes gone by. Navigating forward, Monty Clark. Beautiful ball for Friere, pursuing down the left side. Knifes back into the right with a nifty move. Looks inside. Finds Clark trailing the play. He'll outlet it back to Marcus Kennedy. Clark in a triangle of Spartans. Connects on a Triton foot to Nico Fisher. Out to the far side of the pitch. Comes back to Fisher. There was nothing there. Clark angles to his right. Splits between a pair of defenders. Slides it forward. Here's a cross into the middle. Skims off ahead. Just a bit too tall. And the ball will go in the middle for a Spartans goal kick. Tritons put some pressure on that charge down the field. Alex Hare will cede the kicking responsibility on this goal kick and actually then receive it on a pass. Trying to lull the Tritons to sleep before bombing it away onto their half, and it does bounce free. Chested down and on the run goes Lopez. His pass into the middle, intended for Garou. Here's a turn, Lopez again. Lopez down toward the corner on the near side. He's double teamed. But the ball gets free to Garou. Pass into the box, hammered away, and out the side for a throw-in. So as the 5th minute is coming to a close, we'll have a Spartan throw-in on the near side, deep down at the south end of the field, which the Tritons are defending. Polidori throws it in all the way into the box. And knocked back out the side and further up the pitch by Marcus Kennedy. Got my first touch of the night in on that bounding ball over here to the broadcast position. Throw in from Polidori. And for the 3rd straight time, Kennedy sends it further away, this time all the way out over the bleachers. Polidori whips it in off the chest of his teammate, Rufalucci. Lucci is down, grabbing at his left ankle. We'll see if Lucci will need attention from the training staff. It seems pretty likely here, as he is going to stay down. So late in the 6th minute of the match, we have an injury timeout, and we will take a break on the Sunshine State Conference Digital.
It's a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions.
Back to the action here in St. Petersburg. The trainers have brought Lucci off on the near side, but he can't return to the field from there. They're going to instruct that he be brought around the field to check back in at the scores table. So Tampa, as play resumes here, will be momentarily down a man. But again, Dion Rufo-Lucci is back jogging around the field now and appears to be ready to return as Polidoro puts it back in play for the Spartans on the attacking half. Williams immediately steals the ball away, and then there is a wraparound pull down as Spuler was spilled to the turf. I believe that was Sharif Tamar whistled on the play. Moved through the center circle to Stafford Clark. And he lines it up the pitch. There's 4 Tritons flooding forward, but can't get there fast enough to prevent Alex Hare from coming up to make the grab. A low, hard kick out into an open area to a wide open man for the Spartans. And again, they have spread the field very well. Pass back along the midline to the far side. Tritons managed to mark up and create some pressure here. Another good ball, and that is a perfect ball out into space, or at least it appeared to be so, but tremendous work by Kennedy to get it back to Van Workum. And they wind up toying with Gregor Garou, who looked just that close to having a free run in on the goal. Well done by Kennedy. Monty Clark off the inside of the foot back to Thorarensen, and now Van Workum again back to his foot. In the 8th minute, the freshman from St. Petersburg launches it forward. Passed along by Costa. Tritons continue to work the far side mostly here in the last couple of minutes anyway. A sliding pass by Costa. Battle over there. Costa and Williams both pressuring, but it's off one of them for a Tampa throw-in. This is bombed onto the Tritons' half, forces Kennedy to retreat to it, settling with the right foot. He's got a lot of real estate to cede and gives it back to Van Workum. Knocked forward, a move around the back of the heel and a whistle. And no whistle. I thought I heard it. I imagined it. The lead official clearly gave the motion, get up. No trip call on that. Headed out of the air by Polidori. Polidori, that is. And he sends a pass into the middle. Ball went between a player for each side. Friere comes back to get it. Long strides, pass into the middle. Stafford Clark. And he finds a man on the outside on the run, up the middle of the pitch now. Some hip-to-hip jockeying. There's nothing really there. Pharrell Williams slides it off quickly. Here's Furman with some room. Costa deep down toward the corner. That's off Costa over the end line and will go in the middle for a goal kick. No score in the 10th minute of the match. Hare yet to put it down. Now he does. Lines it up right in the middle. Looks like they're going to dispense with any of the back and forth between him and his back line. And he just launches this one on a line drive trajectory. Up over the top comes Kennedy for a header. Good touch by Monty Clark. Free air. Didn't have anyone on the outside. It is an Eckerd throw-in, though, deflected by Tampa, as it was last touched by Gregor Garou. Kennedy tosses it in up the near side. Bodied down by Monty Clark. Kennedy using his teammate on the back line. That's Nico Fisher. Now he flings it ahead. Bounding around the far touchline, and Eckerd throw-in coming. Triton slowly, deliberately advance most of their team up the field. Tampa controls off the throw-in. Headed back into the middle, Stafford Clark with a touch, and Marcus Kennedy can survey the pitch all day. Monty Clark, he'll let Kennedy take it again, this time deeper. They're going back and forth, but losing ground each time. But now free air, very nice pass right to his foot, into the middle. Pass eluded the referee. Monty Clark started left, turns back right, sends it out to the outside. Furman almost overran it, came back to chest it down. Every field player for the Tritons is on the attacking half. Beautifully settled by Kennedy. Tritons with nothing to lose, and their playoff hopes already dashed, trying to take the action to the Spartans. Free air. Heads it down, chested down, loose in the box. Now just outside the left edge, free air. Trying to create space, comes back. Touches off to Kennedy. Monty Clark brings it back for a reset. Throrarensen initially had trouble reading the angle and has to go all the way back to Van Workum. Kennedy turns to face. And with the left foot puts it forward for Pharrell Williams. Williams, despite being held, fights his way through it. He's a big physical freshman from Manchester, England. Beautiful ball forward, out in front, contesting for it, and bodied off the ball was Gavin Spuler. Williams wins possession back. Free air with it along the near side. Starts right, comes back left, and the ball knocked free and out by Tampa. We're in the 13th minute, 0-0. And a throw in for the Tritons. Kennedy back for Throrarensen, retreats and plays the ball off his foot to Van Workum. Kennedy calling for it out to the near side, receives it from Van Workum. Garou stepped up to challenge him. Van Workum sends this one our way, but Friere comes back with a beautiful trap. Oh, a nice one-touch play by Clark looking for Williams. Stolen away. Williams gets it back, and now Friere. Friere with room to work up the left side. Lashed into the middle. Dropped, settled, top of the 18. Beautiful touch. And in! No, it didn't cross. It did not cross, and a Spartan came back to slide and knock it away. Hare was beat, and one of his teammates came back to save him. My goodness. Costa with the touch. It snuck under Hare, the keeper, but he slowed it down enough for one of his teammates to race back in and slide and knock it away. And we'll have our first corner of the match in the northwest corner. In-breaking kick. and knocked out the far side. Now, there's no one out there for the Tritons to hold it in, but they will have the throw in. Just an absolute golden opportunity for Eckerd, but an even better play by the Spartans to turn the Tritons away on the literal doorstep of the goal. Kennedy on the retreat. Took a shove from Bogeskar. This is a very physical Tampa team. Now, it certainly looked like it could have been a handball on the Spartans. It wasn't. Stafford Clark. Friere has room. Angling in from the left. The flag was up. Out on the far side. Now, the Tritons' aggressive play continues, but this time too far up the pitch. And again, you have to remember it isn't even necessarily guaranteed that that's on Friere. He may have been on, but it could have been someone in the middle that he had a chance to pass to, or really anyone on his team as this ball is headed out the near side, that flag could have gone up for. You've got to keep the entire attacking line on side as you break forward like that. 15 minutes deep. We're into the 16th minute scoreless. This ball is narrowly kept in with a fine header by Costa. Knocked out to the far side by Obregon. Stayed in though, and Tampa attempts to push it forward. Ball is out for a throw-in, and it looks like we're going to see our first substitution of the match. It will be made by the Spartans here in the 16th minute. Where are we? The player who walked to the scorer's table has now retreated back behind the bench. They seem to be sorting this out as to whether we will see a lineup change or not. Here we go. Perhaps a forgotten mouth guard or some other piece of equipment. So we'll have a Tampa throw in. A player that just came on is Felix Poschmann, junior from Hamburg, Germany. Frau Williams touches it back to be drilled ahead by Thorarensen. Ball scoots off the body of a Triton. Polidari. This is back to Polidori. I said Dari before. Apologies. Polidori. Off the outside of Kennedy's foot and over the near touch line for a throw-in. Right at the edge of the box. A fine touch, but explosive defensive play by Fisher to jump in and head that ball away. This is out deep in the corner for a Tampa throw-in. Thrown into the box, a back header, but it's all Tritons around it. Sort of a mishit, though, as this ball goes bounding out to the far side. Tampa elects to play it rather than take the throw-in. Spartans still with control of it. Pass into the middle. Running up to take it is Bergman. Ball through the box and wide of the cage for a goal kick. So into the 18th minute now, 0-0 between Eckerd and Tampa. Just about as deep in the women's match across the bay, and Tampa is controlling the action in that one with 4 early shots, but the score remains 0-0. Here's Bergman. hair way up out of his cage to play that ball forward. He continues to roam up above his 18. Every keeper has their own vibe and own sensitivities and instincts on that sort of thing. I don't mind a keeper coming up that far to play that ball, but I don't like him lingering up that far, as here come the Tritons. But they are turned away again. If your keeper meanders up above the 18, I've just always felt you're asking for that one unlucky long ball that flies up over his head and winds up in your net. I've seen it happen on this field to the Tritons and to others. Out over the near touch line off Tampa for an Eckerd throw-in. Kennedy gets good distance on it, but headed first out of the air by a Spartan. Headed on. Play to the outside. That's still in, deep down there in the corner. That ball deflected on the big blast up the pitch. Again, this match 0-0, although Marcio Costa was so close to his 6th goal of the season. And now Tampa will receive their first corner of the match, taking it out in the southeast corner. Almost 20 minutes deep. It's Garou who's going to take this kick. Tampa stacks a lot of their big bodies wide outside the cage and north of it. Now they break a man across the box as the kick is played in on the ground. I think that was supposed to come back to Garou. It does, but on the second touch, now the Tritons get settled defensively. Tampa still with control, but another pass with too much on it on this turf to be grabbed cleanly. Pass wrapped around Williams, but Kennedy is there for Eckerd. Now it is stolen right at the top of the box, and the pass deflects off a Triton. Believe Furman had the last touch on it. And a corner kick, this time to the near side corner. So Tampa will line up another potential set-piece opportunity. I think this is Bugaskar taking the kick. Now he has a teammate come join him right in the corner. It's sent to the top of the box. One-timer, not well hit. Still loose, poked. Hit out into the midfield. Well-designed play. Still forces you to try to knock that shot through traffic, and maybe that was what was on the shooter's mind as he narrowly nicked it. Tampa, after being awarded a free kick, works it forward short and quick. Inside the center circle. Polidori settles. Coming to challenge him is Spuler. Plays it all the way back to Hare. Hare is so far up right now. He continues to linger as Tampa goes on the attack, letting all the field players for the Spartans push forward toward the 6. Headed up into the air. Bounces up over Williams. Attempts to let it slide down off his body. Bergman. In the middle of the field. That ball finds its way through nicely to Warren, into the box, knocked away and out for a throw-in. Warren twisted that pass right to the 6. Back for Bergman. A right-footed pass by Tamar to reverse to the far side. Williams touches ahead, settled off the outside of the foot by Costa. Tampa navigates it, bypassing Hare this time as they work it along the back line. Freire comes up to challenge, but Polidori navigates away from him. Bergman loads up and launches out to the left. Played back to Hare inside his own box this time. He pops it up in to the air, and the Tritons, for the moment, win it. Monty Clark gets ahead on it just outside the center circle. Tampa wrests back control, but now it's out off Tampa for an Eckerd throw-in in the 25th minute. Tritons again come pushing up. And just lost out over, uncontested out over that line by the Tritons that time. It yields the throw in back to Tampa. Free kick awarded to the Spartans. They're going to have to back this up. Seems to be some displeasure over where to put this kick down for the Spartans, and finally they'll just cede and play it back. Hare with a launch. He's living dangerously up there. Van Werkum, meanwhile, with his tiptoes right up to the line of the 18, receives that big kick on a bounce. Van Werkum loses a punt, tailing away to the right side. It's called a handball against Costa. He's arguing that he was pushed in the back, and that's what brought his arm into the play. Tampa takes the quick, short kick, playing it up to the center of the field and now back. Skimmer off the back of the head. Thorarnson settles for Eckerd. Back to Van Werkum. He settles with the right foot, loads and fires. Again, working out to the right side toward Williams. Got his body on it, but couldn't settle. 0-0 in the 27th minute. Warren turns through a trio of Tritons. Couple quick touches. May spring a man here. Poshman serves in with the left foot. Headed out. Good touch by Williams at free air. Monty Clark and Williams nearly run into each other. Spread things out by working it to Kennedy. Kennedy serves it down the pitch with his left foot. Costa was out there hunting for it. Freire settles on the inside of his right kick. Monty Clark walks it forward. Stafford Clark plays it back. Fisher's ball taken away by Tampa. Warren trying to turn the corner. He does so, but Kennedy recovers perfectly to body him off. Kennedy turns and gets it ahead. Thorarnson headed along. Stafford Clark, quick touch for Monty Clark. Settles on the foot of Kennedy, and again the Tritons move it all the way back to their keeper in green, Van Werkum. Headed hard forward by Tampa. They nearly are caught in an offside position, but Warren now receives after they managed to get back just in time. Out top, moved to the left by Fairchild. Now a kick into the box, popped forward. Costa comes back to retrieve. Williams settles, and Williams is whistled for a foul here, and Tampa will be awarded a free kick 30 yards off the end line from dead middle. This has been a physical match, lots of battling back and forth, and that was hardly a bump. But it goes on Williams. Triton's hold at the 18. So far, the Spartans haven't actually worked anyone forward yet in terms of how they plan to approach this. 29th minute of the match. Two Spartans huddle over the ball. Only two so far have leaked forward to the 18. This leads you to believe they may be thinking of trying to put something on goal out of the initial kick. Now there are three Spartans all within range who could play it. One of them moves away. And it's launched on goal. A diving stop by Van Workum. That was absolutely hammered by Lopez. But Van Workum turns him away. Kept it hard, kept it low, got it through everybody, all those bodies that were up at the 18. As the shooter in that instance, you hope that those bodies create enough of a shield on Van Workum's vision. But he positioned himself well. He knew where the alleys were, and that allowed him to make that tough save. Third corner kick for Tampa in this first half, coming in the 30th minute, bending outward at the 6, popped up in the air, and it was, well, the lead official pointed to the corner. Maybe he was just deferring to the official out the side who was indicating the whole way it would be a goal kick, because now that is where they bring the ball back into the middle, and 30 minutes deep, still 0-0. Both teams have had a good chance or two. Now, I would say that free kick just there was Tampa's best chance. Eckerd had a ball right to the line that a sliding Tampa defender cut behind his goalkeeper to keep out of the cage. Monty Clark is spilled to the turf. He remains in a seated position for a moment. May just be catching his breath. He's back to his feet now. Kennedy back to Van Workum. Kennedy launches it to the middle of the field. Headed up into the air. Williams out there hunting for it. So is Costa, but Tampa controls for the moment. Slipped ahead. Tritons, though, have position on the inside. Referee was trying to figure out how to get himself out of that play. Ball still deflected off him a little bit. Tritons control. Stafford Clark to the outside. Received. That was Furman trying to figure out where to go with it. Now Thorarnson inside the center circle. Loads up and launches. I think too far it is. Freire pleading for the ball to come back to the near side. Tritons have been working that far side almost exclusively over the course of the last 15 minutes or so. Goal kick for Tampa. Into the middle, Hare, no one up challenging him. That ball bounding down the turf. Up to take the throw for Tampa, Lorenz Offner. Midway through the 33rd minute. No one's close to him, so I think Offner's going to launch this long. He does, into the box. Pinballs off a couple of heads, off the back of Freier's foot. Touches it for Kennedy. That's got to be a foul. It is Polidori. Stuck his hands in under the armpits of the Triton he was guarding, which was Spuler. Monty Clark plays it out to the right for Nico Fisher. Fisher being challenged by Alex Dollard, who just checked in a few moments ago. This ball is played back. Both teams made some substitutions during that recent dead ball. Harrison Thompson and Jason Riquez are on the pitch now for the Tritons. Charlie Curtis has joined the Spartans on the field as well. That's out for a Tampa throw-in. Lofted onto the Tritons' half. Foul against the Tritons. So now a free kick for the Spartans. Teams with 2 shots apiece. Now, there is a statistical anomaly in there that Costa has both Triton shots, including a shot on goal. Yet the keeper, Alex Hare, has no saves. That's because Costa's shot on goal beat the keeper, who just narrowly perhaps got a piece to deflect it, but it was on its way in on the Tampa back line. Got a heroic effort of a player I was unable to identify sliding in to knock the ball away and out. Back to Van Werkum for the Tritons. 35 minutes deep, 0-0. Bergman works it along the back line, all the way back to Hare now. I say all the way back, but he's beyond his 18. He invites trouble as Thompson runs up on him. Ball coming forward. Good touch by Offner. Battled down the pitch. Shot is loose, wide right of the goal. Alex Dollard, the shooter for Tampa, he was extending his left arm the whole way down there. Still managed to put quite a bit of zip on the shot. Furman subs off for the Tritons. Try to get an eye on who replaced him. Ball winds up on the shade covers over the benches. Williams. It's Rister-Selly who checked in for Furman. Here's Freire with the ball near side. Gets around a defender outside of the foot pass. Monty Clark loads up and shoots! Wide left. Let loose from about 25 yards out, maybe even a yard or two more. Under 8.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Hare with it on his foot off the short goal kick. He burns the turf with a bouncer out to his left. Back onto Hare's foot. Thompson eyeing him, but giving ground this time. Backheader toward the box. Fisher hits it way up into the air. Dollard backed into him. Triton still moving away from the 18, but under Tampa's control. Slide tackle knocks the ball free, but still Tampa remains in command. Pharrell Williams looks to turn and burn. Enriquez gets his first touch. Goes out off Tampa for an Eckerd throw-in. Throw in bounces through the circle to Thorarensen. Fisher turns to look upfield. Tries to put it in the middle for Williams. Doesn't get all the way to him, though. Settled by Rister-Selly. Cross attempt. Pinballs off a couple players. Lastly, off of a Triton and into the middle for the goal kick. "39th minute. Tritons keep applying the pressure. A foul whistled against Fisher. Put his forearm on the back of Dollard. Didn't look to apply much pressure, but I mean you can see, where that call would come from. Tampa wanted to take it fast and get moving. Ball is called back, though. That will be repositioned for the kick to be taken. Into the 40th minute. Hare outside his box, ball on his foot, walks it forward. Tampa straight up the middle of the pitch. Quick slip out to the right. Stop and go move. There's nothing there for Warren. Tampa trying to hold it in the Tritons' half during what is about to be the final 5 minutes of this half. As 40 minutes have come and gone, 0-0. Polidori finds Bergman backpedaling, and now Hare puts it forward. Enriquez is going to get a yellow card out of that play. Clock halted at 4:39 to go as Enriquez is carded. Pretty much just ran right up the back of the Tampa player. Clock has not resumed. There it goes. Stuck on 4:39 for a few extra seconds. And Tampa pushing it ahead. And another Tampa player is down. The clock is stopped again, and another yellow card is bestowed. I believe that one's on Fisher. So Tampa even closer on the free kick this time than the one that they attempted the direct shot on before, although this time offset to the left. Left-footed serve into the box and blasted over the top left corner on a one-timer out of the air. Tritons dodged one there as the execution was picture perfect up until the ball tailed just a bit high. Tritons try to take the goal kick quick. Say that 5 times fast. But it's whistled back for a substitution to be made. And Dollard came jumping in, trying to knock Van Workum's kick out of the air. Throw in for Eckerd. Twisting, spinning ball. And I was watching the ball sail back, but there was a foul against Tampa down the pitch. Just to confirm, both of those yellow cards that took place during the 41st minute were as I called them. Enriquez on the first and Fisher on the second. Tritons with a free kick in the 42nd minute, although by the time they kick it, we may be into the 43rd. Tritons flood men forward onto the top of the 18. Headed away by Tampa on the Monty Clark kick. Friere comes to get it. Back for Kennedy, a swarm of red coming at him as he swings his left foot to loft it toward the box, near the top of the box. And maybe an angle here. Left-footed shot goes across the face of the goal and out wide for a goal kick. Tritons made some hay there. I believe it was Thompson who ultimately got the shot away. Ultimately, though, still donuts on the scoreboard. On the foot of Polidori. Polidori back to Hare. Just about 100 seconds left in the half. Hare works it forward on his foot. Now launches long. Takes that high hop up off the turf. Good recovery by Ristorselli. Back to it. Williams trying to get running. Flings the ball forward. Hare can't wait for it to reach the 18 and kicks it out to the left side. 65 seconds and running.
1 minute remaining.
Eckerd throw in, 45 seconds. Hare makes the pickup. Lashes his punt. Enriquez. Touch pass back, nearly taken by Tampa. Enriquez got it back with 3 men out in front of him and 1 out to his right. He uses the 1 out to the right. Here's the cross, and it never had a chance as it was deflected out, but the Tritons are going to have to rush just to get this corner kick away. It's their second corner, 10 seconds. Here it is. Headed out by Tampa. One-time shot by Monty Clark. Good for 3 in football, but up and out of here in soccer, and we've reached the intermission. 0-0 after 45 minutes at Johnson Field. Eckerd and Tampa are deadlocked. We'll take a break for halftime and be back in 15 minutes with the start of the second half on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network.
It's a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Did you know that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating? And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit? Act with respect and be officially human.
It is a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Did you know that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating? And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit? Act with respect and be officially human.
It is a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of Scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Did you know that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating? And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit? Act with respect and be officially human.
It is a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Did you know that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating? And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit? Act with respect and be officially human.
It is a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Did you know that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating? And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit? Act with respect and be officially human.
It is a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator, for the careers of today and new ones on the horizon.
The first 50 years of the Sunshine State Conference inspired champions and built a legacy rooted in excellence. A legacy built from a single sport to a conference of national champions. Threaded through geography, fueled by growth, defined by excellence. 135 team national titles, 173 individual champions, and hundreds of scholar All-Americans. Always at the top of NCAA Division II. Looking ahead, we reflect on where we started, where we are, and where we're going. The Sunshine State Conference, where success thrives.
Did you know that love of sports is the #1 reason most people start officiating? And verbal abuse is the #1 reason why most quit? Act with respect and be officially human.
It's a college like no other. No bricks and ivy, but sun and sand, where learning happens everywhere, even here. A home for the adventurous, the doers, the free thinkers, and the best friends, where we push you to become a better citizen, problem solver, creator. For the careers of today.
Back for the start of the second half at Johnson Field. Nate March here with you on the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Eckerd and Tampa flip sides. Tampa will now be heading right to left and Eckerd left to right on your computer screen. Eckerd in white, Tampa in red, as we're at Johnson Field in St. Pete. Meanwhile, across the bay, Eckerd and Tampa's women are scoreless as well, just as we are here at the half, although we are now underway here in the second half with Tampa looking to push on to the Tritons half. Both teams had one real great opportunity in the first half. For the Tritons, Dram Van Workum saved a well-struck free kick during the first half, and for the Spartans, their keeper Alex Hare was beaten by a soft poke shot by Marcio Costa, only for one of Tampa's defenders to come across the goal line and knock the ball away. Tampa's going to get an early set-piece opportunity on a foul here. And this might be their closest look. Yeah, I would say this is only about 22, 23 yards off the end line. Yeah, maybe a little further. And somebody for Eckerd's about to get a yellow card. I believe it was Daniel Friere. Yep. So 3 yellow cards against the Tritons. That didn't take long. It comes just 77 seconds into the second half. Wouldn't be surprised if this is another attempt straight on goal by Lopez. Here it comes. Deflected and blocked right at the point of attack. Tritons wall up and turn the direct kick away. Let's see if they can mount a counterattack now. Here comes Williams up the middle of the pitch. There's no one on the right side. Had a man running free on the left side. It was Friere. And the ball winds up booted forward up to Hare for the Spartans. He walks it ahead. Costa walked up to challenge him. Curtis plays it forward for Warren. Ball played ahead toward the top of the 18. Headed up and off the top of the crossbar. Goal kick for the Tritons, but that was another dangerous moment for Eckerd. Tampa has mounted 2 pretty compelling opportunities in the opening 2.5 minutes of this second half. Ball comes off the knees of Stafford Clark. Tampa maintains control on the Tritons' half. Around to the near side. Tritons shifting over defensively. Received over here by Curtis. Looped it over a Triton. It's kept in for the moment. Ristorselli lofts it onto the Tampa half. Hare is about 35 to 40 yards off his goal line. Again, this is clearly just how the Spartans play it, but I would need an acid as a head coach to watch that for 90 minutes. Tritons move it back onto their back line. And that's exactly what I mean right there. Yeah, if that ball's about 6 inches further to the right, Costa gets the first touch on it instead of a Spartan player. And Hare is out above his 18. There's a Tampa player down, and play is blown dead. It's Curtis. Now the officials can communicate via earpiece here. They don't feel that anything egregious happened that caused that, and so they'll just put it back in play with a drop ball. And that just got hit straight up into the air. Actually stays on the pitch off the foot of Ristorselli. Curtis is none the worse for wear. Ball comes right back to him a couple of times. Serves it forward off the chest of a Spartan. Shot blocked at the point of attack and turned away by Eckerd. This opening 5 minutes of the second half has been all Spartans, as they continue to put a flurry of attacks together but have not broken through. The score remains 0-0. Foul against the Tritons. That time it was Bergman dumped to the turf. It's been a very physical match, as Tampa team generally runs pretty big, so there's been some advantages to some of these physical battles for the Spartans, although there are certainly some Tritons that have been able to give it back as they jockey for possession as well. Goal kick coming up for Eckerd. Tritons play it back to Van Workum. In the direction of Ristercelli, comes off a Tampa body instead. There was a fake as though Warren would take it. Instead, he runs behind one of his teammates, receives the pass, slides it back onto the foot of Fosvold. And here comes Hare, who's essentially an 11th field player in the positioning that he's at right now. This could be a tricky ball down toward the end line. Who's it going to be off? It did. It came off the Tampa leg last. You know, that was actually a pretty easy ball to win a corner kick on if Tampa had decided to treat that as the objective. You know, Warren could have played it off of Thorarnson after Thorarnson slid. Instead, tried to cross it over him, and it ricocheted back off the leg of Warren. Stafford Clark. That's Kennedy now. His pass to Friere was just either poorly placed or mistimed. It leads to a throw-in for the Spartans. Top of the 18, left-footed shot, well wide of everything. And it actually is going to come all the way out the side, so not even a goal kick. It'll be a Tritons throw-in. Again, this is the last Eckerd men's home game of the season. Women will play theirs against Lynn. Got 2 touches today as that ball comes rolling up under our table here. Throw in to be taken by Fisher. I used to play a little soccer in my day. My day was 2 decades and over 100 pounds ago, probably, but can still poke a ball here and there. Tritons jockey for position in the midfield. That's taken away by the Spartans. There is a Tampa player down behind the play. Play continues. Advantage for the Spartans. But the Tritons turn it away. Friere ducks under it so he can then run up on a moving ball. But then his pass back was behind Stafford Clark. Stolen away. Charged down toward the end line. Slide tackled out. And it'll be a corner for the Spartans. Midway through the 55th minute. Corner number 4 for the Spartans and the first of this second half. Quickly touched in. Williams deflects it. Popped high up into the lights. Couple players, one for each side, tangled up. Tampa controls, but all the way back inside the center circle. That is launched ahead. Van Workum up to grab it on a bounce. Almost 55 full minutes deep here. Tampa heads it away. Chested down by Tamar. Another physical battle for the ball. Neither player involved actually came away with it, and now it's out for a Tampa throw-in. Chested down in the corner. Hard contest by Friere. Some room to run up on this one for Curtis. To the outside, Warren. Faked right, came back left, and the Tritons knock it away out over the near touchline for a throw-in. Tap back for Curtis, finds a man in the middle. Left-footed shot attempt. It was wide and never got off the turf. That was Poshman trying to let loose. He clearly thought he had something there. He was immediately, dipped his head and clenched his fists after that attempt. I don't know if maybe he intended that to be in that spot and thought that he could use that ball as a pass, but and that someone would come in from the right side to hit it. But it really looked like he was loading up as though to shoot it, and maybe just could not direct it the way that he had intended. Ball back to Hare on the Tampa half. He will let loose ahead. Tampa throws it in. Thorarnson knocks it back out. Friere. Tampa steals it in tight confines, bringing it into the middle. There's an opening on the left side. The ball gets there to Curtis. Slides it all the way out to Warren on the left. He curls across in, headed down, but not much on the header, and it's grabbed on a bounce off the turf by Van Workum. That'll be a foul against Tampa, plain as day. Fisher. A fine feed ahead for Liam Armstrong. Comes back for Costa into the middle. Monty Clark uses the bottom of his foot to edge it forward while keeping control. Kennedy out to the far side. Friere is there. Stafford Clark. It's about 7 Tritons getting a touch in a span of about 15 seconds. But Tampa doesn't have any cracks, and they steal it back. Long ball ahead. Warren at a full sprint. It bounced beyond him. He turns, drops it down off his lower body. Curtis runs up on it. Out near the tip of the box, now out further than that. Lopez, watch out. We've seen how hard he can launch direct kicks. He really hasn't been involved other than that. And taking the end line, that is up over, grazed the iron, may have grazed Van Workum's hand, and it looks like that is what our lead referee is saying, that Van Workum got his hand up in on that ball. And so it's going to go out to the northwest corner for a corner kick. Poshman kicks it. Serves it in with the left foot, skips by a couple of Spartans, loose in the box, and now knocked out of it by Eckerd. Headed up and to the left, chested back. There again, Costa's about a stride short of getting that and being potentially off to a breakaway. Both teams have been very aggressive. Pushing up in the midfield like that. Serve toward the far post. Van Workum soars up to grab it with both hands. He rolled it out quick, and Friere just gets decked. He had room to go forward and is blasted to the ground, allowing the Spartans to retreat while Eckerd sets up the free kick. Dangerous spot there, but Fisher gets it away. Another foul by Tampa out there. And, at a certain point here, I feel like maybe the card's got to come out for one of the Spartans just to rein this in a little bit. That's twice that Daniel Friere has just gotten hammered out there on the far side. That one, I don't think it was quite as hard as the first, but it came more so from his blind side, which can make it even more dangerous. Here's a cross into the middle. Warren is there. Taps it back. Still live. Shot deflected. Still in, now out. And it goes out for a corner kick. Eckerd using every inch of everyone available to keep that one out of the net. Tampa now has opened up an 11-4 advantage in shots, but we remain scoreless in the 62nd minute. Here's the corner. Low liner. Contacted first by Tampa, but couldn't be redirected toward the goal. Poshman across from further out. It got between two of his teammates, still in the area. And also in the area is Van Workum. Grabs it waist high, whips it out like a quarterback to Friere, all the way out to nearly midfield. Friere jockeyed around left to right, slides down and keeps control. And now he's got Costa out in front of him. And here's Armstrong running in, but Tampa breaks up the pass. Monty Clark whistled for a foul on what was barely a tap. Curtis was off balance already. Hare with Costa chasing him. And the flag is up. Tritons knew it. Spartans didn't initially, but that was plain and obvious. Tritons take the free kick out to the near side. Fisher. That's a dangerous touch. It's stolen away by Poshman. Curtis trailing. Pass back into the center circle. On the foot of Fosvold. Spartans keep it in the middle of the field. That's off Tampa for an Eckerd throw-in. And the Tritons are going to make a pair of substitutions. Off goes Harrison Thompson. And it looks like Friere is going to head to the bench as well. Tritons throw it in, headed straight up by Eckerd. Stolen back by Monty Clark. Tries to turn the corner in a tight space on the outside. Costa This is bombed ahead for Van Workum. Back behind the play, though, a whistle and a foul against Eckerd. As the 65th minute comes to a close, Tampa will have a free kick about 15 yards onto the Triton side. Yeah, not quite that far. Officials back it up. Sent on into the 18. And the Tritons turn it right back out, but they have nobody up and forward. So Tampa will hold this one in on the attack relatively easily. A back header into the box between two Spartans. A Triton turns it forward. No whistle that time on a Spartan going down. Tritons are a little bunched up, though, and the ball is stolen back. Guru played it back in the back line, volleys it around, back to Hare. Sent ahead, bouncing up the touchline for an Eckerd throw-in. Across the bay, it remains 0-0 as well in the women's matchup. That matchup features playoff implications for both teams. This one only for Tampa. On the women's side, and again, the Eckerd women will play here on Saturday evening at Johnson Field and on the Sunshine State Conference digital network. Eckerd currently is slotted in as the 3 seed. And Tampa actually is the 6. So right now for the women, that could be a potential playoff preview taking place over on the campus of Tampa. But we still have a fun one going here. And that is a whistle and a foul against Liam Armstrong right here in front of us, sending Charlie Curtis to the turf. Hare with it on his foot, brings it forward. His defensive backs spread out wide, even with him. And he chooses to come left to Fosvold. Curtis evades Armstrong with the pass. Big collision, ball soars out. It's a Tampa throw-in. And they'll take it back to Hare. Hare plays goalie like a man wearing a pedometer at all times. He roams around back there and is, as I've said before, like an 11th man playing the field, who happens to be able to sink back and play some keeper. This is launched into the box. A couple of Tritons and a couple of Spartans collide. A couple of Spartans wound up going down, but here's Costa looking to lead a breakout for the Tritons, but there's nothing there, and Fosvold steals it back. Let's see if the Spartans can reverse the field out of this. There's space if they can. But they have to use an outlet over here to Fosvold. And by the time he gets it across to Curtis, the defense is fully rotated for Eckerd. And then now Monty Clark with a tap for Armstrong. Armstrong trying to fire up the Jets, threading it forward now to Costa. Really haven't been much in the way of opportunities for any of the Eckerd players to run free, or really anyone from either side in the first 70 minutes or so. We're in the 70th minute right now. 0-0. Long ball forward and loose. There's a shot, but Van Workum recovers. He jumped into the fray to deflect the initial ball and retreated back to position himself well to go down and grab that one off the turf. Armstrong on the run over to the near touch line. Monty Clark forward. All the way out to the left. That's Furman on the far side. Stafford Clark makes the man miss. Sets up his angle. Works back down toward the corner. Here it is! Punched up over the top by Hare. Beautiful shot by Stafford Clark from outside the 18 out to the left. For the first time in a while, the Tritons will line up a corner kick here in the 71st minute. It's served in toward the far post, and Hare up to get it and down to the turf. Rolls it out, two-hand, underhand. Fosfold brings it forward. Curtis runs up under it. Armstrong comes to challenge him. Poshman. Monty Clark rides him out. It's an Eckerd throw in. Well, none too pleased with that call was Felix Poshman. Armstrong tapped off for Miguel Gonzalez. Wraparound hold goes uncalled as Spuler was trying to gain control. The ball knocked onto the top of the 18. Van Workum steps up out of the box, traps it with his foot, sends it onward. Headed forward by Tampa. Both teams starting to work their arms in from behind on some of these plays. Sebastian Blanco knocks it out. Throw in for Tampa, but first, both teams making substitutions. Stafford Clark and Marcio Costa go out. Tristan Bissett comes in, and Pharrell Williams returns. Hare coming out to play off his feet again. Again, Tampa with a 12-5 advantage in shots. That's a call against the Tritons. Free kick for Tampa. Tampa teeing it up on the turf. That's launched on and headed first up into the air by Armstrong for Eckerd. And Van Workum uncontested over to his right to make the pickup when it was headed back into the box. Rolled out to Blanco. Back to Van Workum. Beautiful curler, but Curtis gets to it for Tampa. Tritons win it back, and they got a man on the run. It's Bissett. Had to slow up to avoid going offside. Tries to split a pair of Spartans in the box. Here's a chance, a turn, and knocked away. Still a chance. Served back in, a volley of headers. No, and the Spartans get it out. Kennedy keeps it on the attacking half for Eckerd. Williams racing over to get there. Spins back to his left. He sends a cross into the box. It's too tall. And then Armstrong stumbles trying to get a second chance on it. And now it's hit on forward by Christian Fairchild. Both teams can take a breath as the 75th minute is winding down. Throrarensen lofts it ahead toward Williams, doesn't get to him. It's headed out of the air by Tampa instead. Deep down toward the corner, Kennedy battling. I think that's Dollard down there that he's fighting against, and this will be a corner kick. Since it's a corner, Tampa can substitute, and they are going to. Clock halted with exactly 14 and a half minutes remaining. This is served in, comes off a Triton head first. Spuler. Headed to the outside. And two guys were kind of dancing around that ball, but I don't think either touched it, so it's a Tampa throw-in. Armstrong, Monty Clark, forward. Gonzalez got a touch on it. We're actually sorry, no, that was Bissett. Gonzalez is out here right in front of me on the near side. Monty Clark for Blanco. Throrarensen to Armstrong. Comes to Williams. He got sandwiched. Lofted ahead. Lopez. Turned away by Blanco to the outside. Throw in for Tampa. And we'll have another substitution for the Spartans. That ball comes bouncing onto the goal, but grabbed by Van Workum with no trouble at all. Bissett trying to turn Byrne with it. Triton's men, by the way, finished their season by going out to Boca Raton, where they'll face a top 10 Lynn team. Here's Hare out to basket the ball, waist high. Hare bangs it on. Eludes Williams, stays with Tampa. 78th minute, winding to a close and still scoreless. That ball's out for a throw-in. As a reminder, regular season match, so no overtime. If these teams play to 90 minutes scoreless, it will end in a draw. I've actually been here long enough that there was overtime back in the pre-COVID days. It was sometime right around there that they decided to do away with the golden goal overtime periods in regular season matches. Yeah, they've also continued to tweak some of the clock stoppage rules with the substitutions in the final minutes. Something looks like it could be brewing here for the Tritons. Bassett all the way across. He had Gonzalez wide open, couldn't get it all the way out there. This comes to Gonzalez, but now defense closes on him. Angles left, he's turned away. Fosvold trailing in his shadow. Actually, that was Guru there defensively, although Fosvold was in the vicinity as well. Blanco all the way back to Van Workum. Doesn't receive it completely cleanly, but he has time. Kennedy. And Kennedy on the run, bolting forward. Hesitation move and slides it out to the left. Williams leaves it off for Furman. Furman gets around the corner. Top of the 18, slips it in. And a battle for it along the end line, and out to the corner it goes. And 80 minutes deep. It's scoreless with the Tritons about to take a corner kick in the southeast corner. Armstrong out in the corner. Here it comes. Spinning in toward the post, Hare. Elevates once again for the grab. Towering punt. Read well on the retreat by Furman. Heads it forward for Williams. Gonzalez chasing, but Guru plays it back. Fairchild back over Guru. Gonzalez chases him down again. Pass slipped forward. Again, both teams continue to get away with those little wraparound moves defensively. Fairchild just outside the left end of the box. Sends it into the middle where Van Workum secures it. Van Workum's been credited with 4 saves on the match. Hare with just 1. Tampa currently with a 13-6 advantage in shots taken. Armstrong. Triton goes down behind the play, but for now, we want this to continue. Bassett turns it over. Monty Clark was the one who was down. He's back to his feet now, but he is clearly hobbled. He came sprinting back up. He's cramping. One of his calves is giving him trouble, but now Tampa's on the attack. An open lane. Triton sliding in. It was Blanco to disrupt it, and now he has the ball on his foot. Clark is down. Now he tries to get back to his feet and continue again. Ball does finally go out, and the officials stop, and Clark will go down. Again, that calf has been cramping on him intermittently for the last minute or so. Clock is halted with 7.5 minutes to go, so we're in the 84th minute now. And I think they are, well, let's see. I thought they were going to call for the trainers. They don't. Clark is back to his feet. They're going to sub him off. He'll go off under his own power, but will be subbed off for Friere. And Blanco goes off as well as, I believe that's, yes, Thomas Jenkinson returning for Eckerd. So we're back underway. Ball sent ahead forward by Gonzalez. Tampa steals it back. Across the bay, the Eckerd women have taken a 1-0 lead over Tampa. They're in the 85th minute there. Freya Flenser with the goal for the Tritons. who with a win will pretty much have a stranglehold on the 3 seed. Here we have a bit over 6 minutes left. Ball out to the near side for Warren. Gives it up, and Fairchild went down, but not a foul. It's a throw in for Eckerd, taken quickly from far back off the line by Friere, and Armstrong launches it ahead. Off and running comes Bissett. He gets up to it, traps it down to the turf. Pass into the 6, it's taken away, knocked back out. Armstrong in the vicinity, but Tampa, for the moment, able to clear it away. There's Warren with it. He turns, and Tampa has dodged the bullet, and here they come on the counterattack. Launched forward out of a cannon comes Garou to the top left corner of the box. Fakes left, comes back right, attempts the shot, deflected by a Triton, out over the end line, and a corner kick for the Spartans in the 85th minute. So a corner kick coming from the near side at the north end. Van Workum's in the middle of the cage. It's launched toward that far side of it. And Van Workum, the first contact didn't direct toward the goal, and the second header didn't have much on it. Van Workum again with that overhand whip out to the outside. Knocked forward, and out of a cannon comes Friere, firing up the jet engines, but he is unable to run up to it before the back line can seal it off. And the flag is up. Tampa is in an offside position. Free kick for the Tritons with 4:40 remaining. Tritons have 2 subs waiting at the table with under 4.5 to play. Jenkinson launches it onward. Headed away by the Spartans. A nifty stop and go to win possession. Friere bats it with the bottom of his foot. Slips it for Armstrong to the right. Armstrong staring down Fairchild, who's giving ground, crossed into the middle. The Spartans again turn it away. Armstrong races back in to no avail, but Jenkinson steps in and steals it, but then his pass, not enough on it. Couldn't get it to Bissett. Lofted onward. And a swinging kick by Throrarenson. Gets it back up into the center circle. 3.5 minutes left to go. Still 0-0. Williams being grabbed and held. And Tampa will finally receive its first yellow card of the match. Sharif Tamar shown the yellow card. Comes in the 87th minute. That comes off of a Spartan head and goes out for a corner kick. Sent into the box and just outside the post. Hare got a hand on it to wrap it around the outside of the goal, and so the corner comes around to the west side of the field now, near side. Friere will take it. Tampa has largely outplayed the Tritons in this second half. Eckerd making 2 substitutions. Clock halts for them. Stafford Clark comes all the way into the corner with Friere. It's played in for Clark. He sends a low cross in and played away at the post. That bounds out for an Eckerd throw-in. Into the 88th minute we go. Long throw headed up into the air by Tampa. Held in by Eckerd. Free air with it. Tries to shoot, but it pinballs into traffic. Triton's putting the late pressure on here in the 88th minute. Jenkinson with a touch on it. Clark racing back. He's not going to win that race, but it wasn't handled well initially. There's two Spartans there. Clark is down, sitting on the ball. And so it'll be a free kick for Tampa in the 89th minute. Here's Williams on the run. It continues forward. Here's Bissett. Back for Williams. At a dead stop. Open space. Spuler. Free air. 80 seconds left. Spuler tries to come back left with it. No. 70 seconds. A grab and clock is halted with 67 seconds left, or as the kids say, 6-7. I don't think I did that quite right. Yellow card comes out. Ashley confirms I did do it right, but I still don't know what it means. I just know all the kids say it. 67 seconds, scoreless match, and Hare is going to come all the way up to near the center circle to take the kick. And so after the Tritons mounted charge after charge over the last 2.5 minutes, Tampa with a chance here. Angling out to the right, headed into the box. Van Workum easily goes to grab it inside the 6 with 1 minute remaining. Across the bay, they've finished. Eckerd has beaten Tampa in the women's match. Here it is scoreless with 50 seconds remaining, and a free kick is awarded off a big collision here. Clock halted, 48.5 seconds. This will be an Eckerd kick, another yellow card to Tampa here in the waning minutes. Let's see how the final minute plays out here, and then before we sign off, we will work through the scenarios for Saturday for the women's soccer team. Suffice to say, though, they have clinched a home game in the quarterfinals. So Saturday will not be our last chance to see the Tritons women here at Johnson Field. Lofted, headed toward the post, headed down again. It's in! It's in! The Tritons score in the final minute and take a 1-0 lead. The first header tailed toward the post, a second tucked it in. In the 90th minute. All the Tritons are on the field. There's 42.2 seconds left to play. Off a long free kick served into the box. And the Tritons, who haven't won a match in conference play all year, have a chance to seize victory here in their final home match. It was Sebastian Blanco who got the final touch on it, with all that hair on top of his head, to nudge it inside the post. Final 30 seconds. Knocked out of the box. Chested. Down by Bissett. He turns and he's off to the races. Turn on the Jets and take it deep. Bissett Stop and go. Still has it. Tritons flood up. Tritons are going to hold it on the Tampa side here. Bombed ahead into the midfield. Last gasp for the Spartans. Just get it to the outside. 10 seconds. There it goes. Rolls out for the throw-in. 6 seconds. Tampa just needs to toss it toward the goal. Headed around. Bicycle kick. No! The horn sounds! And Eckerd has beaten Tampa. A 1-0 victory. And the Tritons dogpile at the top of the box. Tampa players laying across the field in just distraught postures as the Tritons score in the 90th minute to secure the victory. The Eckerd men improved to 3-7-5 overall and 1-5-3 in conference play. This loss deals a big blow to the Spartans, who saw this as an opportunity to move up the conference playoff race standings. They slipped to 6-4-4 and 2-4-3 in conference play. What a win for Eckerd. No assist has been credited on that goal, but whoever for the Tritons had that first touch in the box, it may take video review to tell for sure who it was, should probably have an assist added on after the fact. And credit to Duran Van Workum, the freshman with a clean sheet, 5 saves over 90 minutes while facing 15 shots. 6 of them on goal. Saved 5 and 1 clipped off the post, or the crossbar rather. And so the Tritons snagged the victory over Tampa. Before we sign off, I want to recap really quickly the developments in women's soccer tonight as the Eckerd women defeated Tampa as well, 1-0. Now with Embry-Riddle and Florida Southern tying and Florida Tech defeating Lynn, Eckerd and Florida Tech now are in contention for the 3 seed or the 4 seed. Eckerd has clinched at least the 4 seed, which means they will host a semifinal next week in the quarterfinals of they will host the quarterfinals of the conference tournament. With a win over Lynn, they would secure the 3 seed, which would be the highest seed, and I'm not sure how long for the women's program. So a thrilling victory for the men here tonight in the final minute to finally snag a win. Across the bay, the women victorious as well. Eckerd will wrap up its regular season and its season at large across the state in Boca Raton on Saturday. The Eckerd women will be here facing Lynn. We'll have that for you here on the SSC Digital Network. So just a great all-around night for Eckerd College soccer. But it's time we sign off and get off the air from here at Johnson Field. Once again, for the final time, the score tonight, Eckerd 1, Tampa 0. For our outstanding student production crew, I'm Nate March. Thank you for making Eckerd College soccer a part of your week. This has been a live presentation of the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. Have a good night.